really hand it to you, you know.
Big
Good
one,
job.
yes.
Who's Asa?
Asa is the man that paid you to interrupt our holiday. So if you don't mind, you can leave now.
Now, look, I don't know what you're talking about, but I am dead serious.
Oh,
You have
really?
got to evacuate.
Oh,
I really don't think you want to die in a rush of hot molten lava.
Molten lava! Hey, we haven't had a thrill like that in days, have we?
No, molten lava is one of my favorites. Can't wait. I'm sorry, Mr. Dawson. I hope you don't get to give him your money back. Really, go on.
You two are nuts.
Oh, really?
I just hope you realize this isn't a joke before it's too late.
Was fun!
Bye! Say hi to Asa!
I didn't know Asa had such an incredible imagination.
Our part is to think that he could actually think we would buy that. All we have to do is go out and look in the harbor and make sure nobody's evacuating.
That's
Come
true.
on.
What's that?
It's the island alarm. Oh, my Lord, Pete, you don't think he's tricking the whole island, do you?
Don't go anywhere. All right, give. What's happening here?
Jamie convinced me to withdraw $2,000 from our mutual trust fund today.
Oh, really? What's the purpose of that?
Kate, I'd still like to do what I intended to. It was supposed to be a surprise.
I don't like surprises. What's going on?
I wanted to put a full-page ad in the banner, stating that I was sorry for all the heartache I'd caused the town and to my parents, and explain that you got me out of prison because of your love and because I was in danger.
Why would you want to put that in an ad?
To get the media off your back for using your influence to get me out on bail.
Jamie, that would look very self-serving, almost as if I put you up to it. That's not a good idea.
Well, I went along with it, and we went to the lawyer's office together. He handed us over the money, and boom.
That's right. We got mugged coming out of the corridor.
You two were mugged? You seem all right.
Oh, yeah, we're okay, and I've still got the money. But only because I kicked the knife out of the mugger's hand. The point is, Dad, Jamie set this whole thing up so that he could get $2,000 to skip town with.
Dad, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's making the whole thing up. You can't listen to her.
Oh, am I? It's funny that it's such a coincidence that the two thugs happened to be on the 6th floor of the Landview Tower. They just happened to mug us after we were handed $2,000 in cash.
Oh, come on.
You know, the thing is, I saw the way they looked at each other. And after I defeated the two punks, one of them looked at him right in the eye and said, quote, "If we'd have known, we would have brought a gun."
So, what does it have to do with me?
It means they were implying that you screwed up for not telling them that your sister knew karate.
Well, there you have it, Dad. Kate's new career in writing fiction. I don't think she'll get too far, do you?
Oh, I'd buy it, Jamie. Because I don't think it's fiction at all.
You believe her?
Yes, I believe her. What I don't believe is that you would spend $2,000 purchasing an ad to apologize to Landview.
It's true. I'm trying to convince people I've changed.
You haven't changed one bit, Jamie. Dad, I'm totally convinced that he arranged that stabbing from beginning to end. The whole thing was a scam.
This is so unfair. I can't believe it.
Oh, excuse me, Jamie. I've ruined your escape. My vote is you go back to jail.
Dad, you can't listen to her. If I go back to Statesville, I will die. There's no question about it.
There might be some space in solitary available by now, Jamie.
You can't turn your back on me now.
What's going on in here?
Mom, I have no doubts about this whatsoever.
Oh, good old Kate. What a sister. You can always count on her for confidence
You
and support.
could count on me, Jamie, up until you had us mugged.
Wait a minute. None of this makes any sense. That Jamie would take out the ad and that you insist he set up the mugging.
Thanks, Mom.
Oh, what are you basing that on, Judith?
He was with Kate. He wouldn't endanger his own sister's life.
Oh, but you don't understand. See, I wasn't supposed to be endangered. I was supposed to throw down my purse like a passive female. He didn't count on me refusing or trying to defend myself.
You know, if a tornado swept through Landview this morning, Kate would insist that I set it up.
Mom, I know what I'm talking about. I wish I had a tape that I could play back for you, but you're just going to have to take my word
No,
on
she
it.
doesn't. She can take mine.
We seem to be at war again.
Mom, she's also convinced that I set up my own stabbing, and she wants Dad to revoke my bail and send me back to prison, so that this time maybe I will get killed and stop embarrassing the family name.
I figured something else out about Jamie. He finds everybody's guilt buttons and then he pushes them and pushes them. And he's going to throw this notion about him getting killed in prison in your faces so that you can't refuse him. I'm sorry, but I'm totally convinced that he cannot be trusted.
You're going to regret this someday, Kate.
Wait a minute. Am I to interpret that as a threat against your sister?
Just preparing her for the day when she feels guilty for not believing in me.
See?
God, I'm beginning to think that I do have to be killed in prison just to be labeled sincere.
Here he goes again.
Both of you just stop. And leave your father and me alone to discuss this.
There shouldn't have to be any...
Jamie! Out! Wait a minute. I didn't say out of this house. Upstairs.
I'm leaving too. It's an asylum here. I'll be back to get my stuff later. Kate. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm not going far. I'm just getting out of the war zone.
All right. Get Allison safely tucked away in another room, thanks to her father.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad that the warden was behind Tina on this one. You know, he could have flatly refused us.
Yeah, it's a good plan. I just hope something comes of it so we can wrap up this damn kidnapping.
Sounds good to me, Rafe.
Hello.
Hi, Tina.
Rafe, thank you for believing in me. I couldn't believe it when Cord called me and said you agreed to do this.
Well, I never wanted to believe that you could hurt your sister that way, and I'd love to get my hands on the real culprit.
I guess if someone's got to risk their life for all this, it might as well be me. Boy, I can't believe I just said that.
Well, they did leave.
Oh, blessings. There's nothing of yours here anyway. My stuff is all in my office.
Vicky, are you quite sure about this quitting? I mean, you're not doing it in my defense, are you?
No, absolutely not. The thing is, if Clint and I worked together, we'd last about half a day, and then he'd have Asa fire me, too.
Well, I don't know. I've got a feeling Clint wants to get close to you so he gets rid of me so he can work with you.
How can we work together? We can't even have a conversation that isn't filled with recriminations and accusations.
Well, he is convinced we're having an affair. You realize if you let this go to court, you're going to be accused of being an adulteress as well as an unfit mother.
I suppose I am, yes. I haven't seen anything that leads me to believe that we can avoid a court battle.
Vicky, this whole damn thing is snowballed to where no one can control. When I came in, Clint said something about offering you an alternative. Just what was that?
I should drop the divorce proceedings. I should kick you out of my life. I should let him be my husband again. Oh, yes, and I have to go and see a shrink daily so that I can get my memory back.
Don't you think you can do that?
I don't want to do it, Tom. I'm beginning to hate that man. What? Yes. Oh, Herb.
Hello, Vicky. Tom?
Were you the one responsible for drawing up the papers that made Asa the major stockholder in the Banner?
I know nothing about that.
I'm sorry. But it's happened. He's taken over. He fired Tom, and I have resigned. So if you're looking for us in the future, we're not going to be here.
Vicky, my heart goes out to you over this whole situation.
What is it, Herb? You here to negotiate? Is that it?
No, unfortunately, I'm here to issue papers. I didn't feel like sending a process server since we're friends.
Oh, so Clint's going to divorce me before I can divorce him. That's just fine.
He's suing for custody of the children. He said that he'd warn you about that.
Yes, he did. And there is no way on this earth that I will ever let that happen.
Oh, hello, Maria.
Dorian, my goodness, I haven't run into you in ages.
Indeed, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine. How about you?
Well, thank you. I'm supposed to be meeting somebody here, but they're obviously not here yet. Do you have time for a cup of coffee?
Oh, no, I don't. I'm sorry. I've got an appointment.
Oh, Sorry about that. Oh, I just heard on my car radio that Allison Perkins has regained consciousness.
Oh. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, gosh, let's hope that she stays out of her coma for good.
And that the police find out who her accomplice really was. The police are saying that her condition is so delicate that they're not going to question her until tomorrow morning. I find it hard to believe that even Tina would do such terrible things to Vicky.
Oh, yes, me too. Well, I better run. Good to see you.
Same here. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Jessica, you remember your grandpa? I don't think so. We got a lot of catching up to do.
What are you trying to do, Asa? Make me feel guilty? Huh?
I'm talking to my granddaughter. Please, you're eavesdropping.
She is beautiful, isn't she?
Oh, she sure is. I'll tell you something. I would not recognize her from the day she was born. It's amazing, Clint, from how fast and how much babies change so quick.
Yeah. I'm going to turn around one of these days, and she's going to be telling me she's going out on her first date. Time sure goes by fast, doesn't it? Or maybe not fast enough.
What does that mean?
Well, if this was next month, Vicky might have her memory back.
I'm sorry taking the paper away from her didn't jar it back.
She doesn't want it back, Paul. I'm convinced of that more and more.
Holding this little babe in your arms brings reality home. You and Vicky splitting up and fighting over the kids. I mean, it's the damnedest world. Don't you?
Buchanan. Pam? Yes, as a matter of fact, he is here. Hold on. It's Pam.
From Malakeva? Oh, goodbye, gorgeous. Okay. Hello. How is the flower of Malakeva?
Pretty upset right now, thank you. How dare you do this, Asa?
Do what?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. The chaos in this island. People are fleeing like crazy everywhere, all because of you.
Pam, I really don't know what you're talking about.
Of course you do. And you've certainly gone too far this time. My Lord, the whole harbor looks like D-Day. Boats out there. People jammed into it.
Why?
Look, Pete and I are going to go down there and try to convince the authorities that you bribed a geologist. So don't be shocked if the authorities arrive and arrest you.
Look, just back up and tell me what the hell you're talking about.
I give up.
She hung up on me. Something about some hoax, people fleeing the island. I think I know a problem. Either too many daiquiris, too much sun, or too much Pete O'Neill. Probably all three.
You believe Kate, don't you?
Yes, I do. I'm the one who had to be talked into believing Jamie in the first place, remember? And I've been just kind of waiting and watching to see if he was going to try to pull something, and sure enough, he did.
Charles, how can we be sure?
How can we take the chance? All right, today he didn't succeed, but believe me, he will find another scam, another way to get his hands on enough money and then leave town.
Oh, Charles?
Judith, we have always trusted Kate, have we not? And now listen, she doesn't hate her brother. And she is positive that he set up that mugging, which backfired. I say we believe her as we have always believed her.
I know that she wouldn't make an accusation unless she believed it were true.
Well, then what are we arguing about?
Because I believe he was wantonly stabbed in prison. I don't want him to go back there.
No matter what the consequences, no matter if he jumps bail or who he might hurt in the process?
Oh, my God, you sound like Dorian. She came into Herb's office this morning yelling about Jamie being out, and was I waiting for him to kill someone so I'd realize what he was really like? Well, don't you have anything to say about that?
Yes. Yes, I'm afraid I have to agree with her.
How can you?
How can I what? Think the worst of our own son? Because I do. And Judith, I don't think we should be made to suffer if he does something more, which he cannot do if he's back in jail.
I am not letting him go back there, and I will do anything I have to keep it from happening.
Judith, wait. Listen, we can salvage something out of all this. We don't have to be taken down with Jamie. We can salvage our career, our reputation, not to mention our marriage.
Our marriage?
So I'll be in the hall and Cord will stay in the room behind the screen. You should be perfectly safe, Tina.
Tina, if you don't want to take the risk, you just tell us now. We'll understand.
No, I want to. I do, especially now that Rafe says there's not going to be any real danger.
But he's not entirely sure about that, Tina.
Cord, we got to move on this. The news bulletin is out. We said that Allison is too weak to be questioned by the police today. My guess is that the accomplice will come as fast as she can.
Fine, let's just do it. Tina, why don't you crawl on into the bed?
I got a tape recorder here just in case we can come up with something close to a confession.
But I can't talk to her. Does she know it was me?
You don't have to. Whoever it is liable to start begging or bribing or threatening. Don't worry about it. Now, I'll be outside in the hall. Good luck.
Thanks, Reef.
Yeah, thanks. Boy, this isn't exactly how I envisioned this. But it's just the only way it's going to work. I guess it's okay.
What? Now, I want you to put that tape recorder under the sheet. That way nobody will be able to see it, but I still think you'll be able to pick up every word that's said in here.
And you'll be right behind the screen?
Yeah, you got it. Look, I'm going to shut off the lights now, and I think we ought to be quiet. No more talking.
Cord?
Yeah?
Well, I want you to know, in case I die or something, that I love you.
Son, I'm so grateful to be back in land fair and back in your life. I'm happy to vamoose if that's what you want.
No, I just don't want you caught in a crossfire when Vicky walks through that door.
You think Herb has served her the papers?
Oh, yeah. And she's going to fight tooth and nail for those children, Pa.
The old Vicky, but the new Vicky, hardly knows the kid. Why would she fight?
Well, Pa, as much as I believe that those kids are going to be better off in my custody, I do not underestimate the power of the maternal instinct.
You're probably right. Well, I better get out of here before the first starts flying. Somebody's got to take care of business at the banner, right?
Okay, thanks. I'll be over just as quick as I can.
You do with Vicky. I'm going to have to make a call to Malakaver and get a hold of Pamela, accusing me of starting some panic in the island. I mean, women, if I live to be 100 years...
We're not such a mystery, Asa. When we are attacked, we fight back. Just like a man.
And you seem to think that being a good father is blaming everything on your son.
Not everything. Just the crimes he's committed. Crimes against society, and particularly crimes against this family.
Have you no compassion for Jamie anymore?
No, not anymore. And I think if you didn't have such a sense of guilt that you would see him for what he really is, Judith. We are a pair of the walking wounded. And who do you suppose the culprit is in that? Our loving son, Jamie. Well, I say there's only one thing left to do. Send him back to prison and let him take his punishment.
I won't even consider it.
Look what is happening to this family.
Jamie is part of our family.
Yes, and he's destroying it. And he's also destroying our marriage.
Cord, did you hear something?
Shh, just get ready, Tina. Be careful.
I tell you, Peter, I've never seen the people so frightened before. I mean, they really believe that the gods are angry, and that mayor had them all worked up. No way we were ever going to talk reason to them.
Well, it's hard to explain to people it's one of Ace's tricks.
I know. I can't believe it. The people here are so trusting. They're naive. How are they going to believe somebody like Ace is going to pull that kind of a stupid trick on them?
Yeah, how do you explain Asa Buchanan to people in 50 words or less?
It is not funny, Pete. The whole community is uprooted. Families, their children have been taken away from their homes and all because Asa wants to scare us off an island. Even my father.
Pam, come on, calm down. It was your father's decision. He wanted to go with his congregation. Look, as soon as these people realize there's no threat, they're going to get in their boats. They're going to come back from the outer islands. Malakay will return to normal, all right?
In the meantime, look, all the beaches are deserted. It feels like the birds have left. The village is quiet. The whole place is empty.
Except for us.
What are you smiling about?
I think this is perfect. You know what?
No.
I think Asa really screwed up this time. His whole intent was to drive us off the island, right? All he's managed to do is to drive everybody else off and leave us here alone on the island.
Why, Pete O'Neill, would you really take advantage of a rich, defenseless woman stranded on a desert island?
Every time.
What is that?
Oh, I think that's the first boat making its way to safety. You want to make a run for it?
Why? I feel, perfectly safe right here.
I didn't mean to be here when you got back, Vic. I didn't want to put you in an embarrassing situation.
But I'm not the one who ought to be embarrassed or ashamed.
If you've got something to say, Vicky, say it to me. Don't drag Ace into the middle of our problems.
Why, isn't that what you did when you used his stock to take over my newspaper?
I don't think I'm going to be help here. I'll talk to you later, son. Vicky?
You're not being fair with him.
Now you're going to give me a lesson in fairness after driving me out of the Banner.
Now, wait a minute. Nobody asked you to leave. Ace and I both begged you to stay.
Knowing full well I would not accept your very generous terms. When you fired Tom, you gave me no choice.
Oh, yes, and obviously Tom is more important than anything else.
No, I'll tell you exactly what's important to me. My children. And seizing control of the Banner pales compared to what you're trying to do.
Oh, no, hold it. I did not disguise my intentions with you. I told you right out in front that if you forced my hand, I was going to take certain steps.
I guess I never really believed you then. Until Herb Callison served me with those papers today. I knew you were angry and I knew you were bitter. I never dreamed you could be vindictive.
I am not doing this to punish you.
Then call off your lawyer. Call off this custody suit. The children are mine.
No! No, they are Vicky Buchanan's. The Vicky Buchanan who remembers them.
Are you telling me I don't know my own children?
Yes. You might know their faces. But you don't know their wants, you don't know their needs, you don't know their feelings. That comes from sharing with their lives, living with them. You've forgotten all those years.
I can make up for that.
How? How the hell can you when you won't get help?
I don't need therapy. I need love. I need the love of my family, something that you are totally incapable of understanding.
Now, don't you talk to me about love. Why the hell do you think I am doing this? I'm doing it because I love you, Vicky. And because I love the children. And the only thing you love is Tom Dennison.
That's absurd.
Is it? And what about your little affair? Is that absurd, too?
My what? You are totally irrational. I am not having an affair.
Oh, stop lying to me. I've had a belly full of your lies. I know exactly what the two of you have been up to.
I'm not going to listen to this.
I've seen it with my own eyes, Vicky. Go ahead, deny it. Lie to me some more. Deny what you were up to in the carriage house with Tom. And while you're explaining it to me, tell Cord about it. He was with me. We both saw the two of you locked up in each other's arms.
Allison, I snuck in. When I heard the news, I just had to come and see you.
Dan?
Tina? What the hell are you doing here?
Dan, we're real sorry about this.
Cord, what the hell is going on? All right, hold it.
Oh, it's only Dan, Rafe. He's not the accomplice.
Will someone please tell me where Allison is?
I'll leave the explanations to Cord. I'll plant myself in the hole again.
Dan, I really can't blame you for being all upset about this.
Upset? Cord, I'm totally confused, not to mention worried about Allison.
It wasn't supposed to happen that way. I mean, somebody was supposed to tell you.
Tina's right. We were hoping that the warden would get in touch with you and tell you about this before they broadcast that phony news report.
Phony? You mean Allison's not out of her coma?
No, we had to have it broadcast that way to try to trap the real accomplice.
You mean it was all a hoax? Allison's recovery, the news report, just some cruel trick?
Look, I know how you must feel, Dan, but we really felt that this was the only way we could smoke out Allison's accomplice.
Please try and understand. We had to make her think that Allison was conscious again. That way she'd try to come back here and silence her.
It's clear to me that the only thing I can do is go back to prison.
No, it is out of the question.
No, Mom, I've made up my mind. It's bad enough that the press has made you and Dad the scapegoats for my past mistakes. I mean, I don't want to jeopardize your marriage on top of that. I'd rather be stabbed in my cell again.
Oh, please, Jamie. We've all heard the story of what supposedly happened in the jail cell. You don't have to embellish it.
Maybe what happened was a prelude. Next time, it might be more than a flesh wound.
That's a chance I'm going to have to take, Mom. I mean, I wish I could be here on the outside and prove to everyone that I've changed. But apparently, Kate and Dad aren't willing to accept the fact that I might be telling the truth.
Oh, there you go again, just finding somebody else to put the blame on.
He's willing to risk his life for us. What more do you want?
Some privacy, for starters. Jamie, we have not finished our conversation, Judith.
I don't want to leave if you two are going to fight about me again.
We're not going to fight. We just need to talk, Jamie.
Okay, Mom, if that's what you want.
And don't even think about leaving this house until this matter is settled once and for all.
I won't, I promise.
Oh, he's getting good at it. He is so good at the manipulations and the deceptions and the guilt trips and the lies.
He's our son.
Yes. Yes, I know, and that just terrifies me.
I understand, all right. You're trying to use Allison as some kind of bait.
The warden gave his okay on this thing, Dan.
Look, I don't care. I just want you to tell me where you've taken her.
I'm sorry, we can't do that.
Can't or won't? Is it because she's dead?
No, look. Her condition hasn't changed. She's still in the coma, Dan. They just moved her to a different room.
Well, and there's lots of policemen there and everything. They're taking every possible precaution.
We're really sorry we put you through all this.
I had this moment, you know, I mean, the news report and just one moment of hope.
Oh, damn. And you still have to hope.
The doctors are doing everything they can.
Yeah, a lot of good that's done so far. I mean, what if her mother finds out the same way I did and no one can tell her in time?
Well, let's just hope that the warden got to her in time, all right? Dan, I don't know Allison that well, all right? But I do know that she wanted the truth to come out. All of it.
That's how she got here. She wanted to tell Vicky the truth.
Okay. Then maybe you can understand why we need to find Allison's accomplice, the person who's behind all this misery.
That's right, Dan. Please let us set up the trap again. Please, for Allison's sake.
Well, she wanted the world to know. Who am I to stand in the way?
You were spying on me? Is that it?
Oh, don't try to turn it around and put it on me. You were the one behind the window.
But there you were, right on the outside, peering in through the window, hoping to catch Tom and me in a compromising position?
For your information, Cord and I had been out to the garage. We were simply on our way back to the house. The last thing we expected was to see you and Tom kissing. So your little secret is out, Vicky. You and Tom can stop hiding behind closed doors. And you can stop that sanctimonious bull about friendship. I know exactly, finally, what the two of you have been up to.
You don't know anything. We are not having an affair. Yes, you may have seen Tom holding me, and you may have seen him kissing me. Is that so very hard for you to understand, given the abuse that I have suffered from you? That I would turn to somebody else for some understanding and some care?
I care. I care. And I've been trying to understand it. I've been your husband for a few years, Vicky. I've been through some beautiful times with you, and I've been through some bad times with you. You might have forgotten it. I haven't.
Clint, if you really care for me, let me go. Please. Believe me, I never meant to hurt you. All I want to do is live my own life in my own way.
Yeah. And your way means living it with Tom Dennison. What about what we had? What about what we had together? That just ends up on some scrap heap?
Don't you understand that I have only your word that we were ever close? And that you were ever anything but a tyrant?
Oh. Is that Tom's version? Is that his version, his opinion of our marriage?
No. That is what I have seen of you.
And what about what I have seen of you? What about what I've seen? Never in my whole life did I ever think that you would betray me. And not just me. Everything we had, you have turned your back on. Everything that I believed that we had, you turned your back on it.
No, Clint. You turned your back on me and you left me totally alone to fend for myself. So if I went to Tom for some support, you're to blame for that, not me.
Really? Well, turn to him. Go to Tom for all the support and all the love you need. Only next time, try not to do it in front of a window, will you? Unless you want the whole damn town to know what kind of a wife and mother you turned out to be.
If you think so little of me, why would you want to keep me? I mean, you've got your proof. You've got court as a witness. Why on earth hang on to me? Clint, please. For God's sakes, just let me go.
Vicky, I never meant for it to come to this resentment and these accusations.
How on earth did you expect me to react when you threatened to take away the children?
I don't know. I guess I thought maybe that you would understand how much this family means to me, and that I was not about to give it up without a fight.
But a family is not a possession. It's a living, breathing thing. If you clutch it too tightly, you will kill it. It's so clear to me that you and I just don't understand each other.
Yeah. And that's the tragedy. There was a time when we understood everything about each other. Hell, we even had our own language.
Did we?
Mm-hmm.
We don't now. I'm sorry.
You're sorry. She's sorry, she says. Joey was sorry. We used to have a Ming vase sitting right here on the mantel, and Joey broke it. Remember? Of course you don't remember. But he broke it. He said he was sorry. It didn't bring the vase back.
If you truly care for the children, please do not subject them to the torment of a court battle.
Do you think I want to? You started the divorce proceedings, remember?
I had to.
Had to? Had to? Yeah, like you had to fire me from the Banner? Like you had to suggest I move out of Landfair? Like you had to insist that Kevin and Joey and Jessica were your kids?
Please, please, let's not fight again.
I want you to try and understand one thing. I'm going to protect those children.
From their mother?
You are a stranger to them.
I am their mother.
No! I cannot pretend that I didn't see what I saw, and I can't pretend that I don't know what I know.
You are so wrong. Don't you ever learn, Clint? You were absolutely positive that I was Nicky Smith. You were utterly convinced I had kidnapped my own baby, and you were wrong then.
One thing has nothing to do with the other. Now, you have chosen Tom Dennison over me, and you have chosen Tom Dennison over the children. Hell, you have chosen Tom Dennison over everything you used to care for. Well, for the sake of this family,
I am going to make some choices of my own.
Fine. You go right ahead and believe just exactly what you want to believe. You make your choices and you do your worst, but don't you dare try and tell me that it is this family you're trying to protect. It is your own wounded pride, that's all you're defending, and I will not allow you to make me the villain in this.
There must be something we can do to help him.
What? We can't even help ourselves.
When I decided to move back in with you, we agreed that there would be honesty and that we would tell each other exactly what we felt.
Do you want to know exactly what I feel? All right. I feel that you are so involved with Jamie now that you have lost sight of everything else.
He is in terrible trouble. He needs us.
He has brought the trouble upon himself. And what about what I need? What about what we need?
This is not the time to be selfish, Charles.
Judith, it's Jamie who has been selfish. Jamie does nothing unless it pleases Jamie. He doesn't think about you or me or anyone else. And Judith, he's a grown man. There comes a time when a man has got to take responsibilities for his own actions.
He's confused. He's mixed up.
Is that any reason to confuse the rest of the family? What about Kate? My God, she needs us too.
I know what you've been sacrificing for Jamie. I'm sorry you lost that appointment. I know it meant a lot to you.
It's not just me, Judith. What about you? You are one of the most respected attorneys in this city. Now, after all of the favors we've asked, all the strings we've pulled, what do you really think your reputation is right now?
My son comes first.
No, he does not. Not when it means giving up everything we've ever worked for, everything we've ever earned in our lives. No, we have to be selfish now.
What are you saying?
I'm saying we call his bluff, send him back to prison.
Even if you know he could be killed.
Oh, Judith, I don't believe for a minute that his life is in danger while he's in prison. What is in danger is our family, our marriage, and our dreams.
Don't you think I know that? You haven't just lost faith in Jamie. You blame me for trying to help him.
Oh, Judith, no. There's plenty of blame to go around.
I didn't want to cost you your dreams. I always loved you for them.
Do you realize how long it's been since you've said you love me for any reason at all?
I know. A lot of words have been spoken in this house in the last 2 weeks. Love has not been one of them.
No, it hasn't. And darling, you know love isn't just a word. It's a way of living, a way of being. And we've lost it. We don't live that way. We aren't that way anymore. Jamie has driven a wedge right between us.
I can't help it.
You have to help it. You have to learn that this beautiful, wonderful child that we created and raised with love is destroying us.
Thanks for understanding, Dan.
Yeah, well, just do me a favor, okay? When you find the accomplice, whoever she is, just keep her away from me.
Don't worry about that, Dan. Once we find her, she's going to pay for everything she's done.
Come on in, Maria.
Ma? What are you doing here?
That's what I'd like to know. I was on my way back to watch the elevators, and I turned around and saw your mother coming out of a stairwell and heading for this room.
No, what's going on?
Well, if somebody will give me a chance, I can explain.
Good. You can also explain why I saw you eavesdropping on the conversation inside the room.
Well, go ahead and explain, Maria. There's only one reason, isn't there? Because you are the real accomplice.
What?
Oh, don't try to lie your way out of this one. You framed Vicky, and you're trying to frame me, too. It was you. It was you all along.
What about aerial photography? Can we get a plane in the area? All right, good. Do that then. All right. Now, look, Briggs, brief the crew, will you, please?
Brief me, Tom.
Hang on a second, Briggs. Asa, I'm up to here in a crisis. I haven't got time to waste with you.
You better find time for me, mister.
Briggs, you get back to me just as soon as you finish that thing, will you? Okay, well, Tell me, please, just why did you do that?
What the hell are you still doing trying to act like editor-in-chief around here?
In case it escaped your eagle eye, there is still a newspaper to be published.
I will publish it. Without you.
If you calm down for a minute, I'd be happy to explain.
There is nothing to explain. I gave you your walking papers. What the hell are you waiting for, the county sheriff?
See that box? It was all packed and ready to leave before this story started breaking.
Oh, the good captain didn't want to leave a sinking ship. Give me a break, Dennison. You just don't want to lose all the power that goes with his job.
Believe it or not, Asa, the rest of the world isn't as power hungry as you are. I was about to walk out of here and leave these phones ringing. Then I remembered Vicky still has a few shares in this newspaper.
You got heart. We all know that.
No, but I am a professional. Clint wasn't here, and you were out persecuting Vicky.
Oh, so I'm persecuting Vicky, am I?
Stealing her life's work. What do you call that, huh?
What do you call stealing his wife away from him?
You want to publish this paper? You go ahead. You handle the crisis.
Oh, crisis. Do you think I know what you're doing, huh? Exploiting Clint's absence from the paper, the way you exploited his problems in his marriage.
Like I say, you deal with Malakeva, all right?
Hey, hold it. Malakeva?
Yeah, that's right, Asa. That's that crisis you don't want to believe is happening. I'm sorry to tell you this, but as we speak, there's a volcano about to erupt and destroy the entire island.
That's the last boat, I guess. Getting ready to evacuate the island.
Father must be on that one. He said he wasn't going to leave till the last people got off. Then we will be all alone on Malakeva, just you and me.
I know how I feel about that. Sure you don't want to make a run for the boat, though?
No, I do not. I do not want to be the brunt of Asa Buchanan's jokes.
Pam, don't be stubborn, all right? Now, if you think there's 1,000,000 to 1 shot that volcano is going to erupt, let's get off the island, all right?
Hold on a second, Pete. I have learned the hard way. Asa Buchanan is capable of anything.
Yeah, but faking the volcanic eruption, that's a good trick even for Asa, you know?
No, wait a minute. Are you having second thoughts?
Me?
Well, just before you said how delighted you were that we were going to have a deserted island all to ourselves.
Yeah, I said that, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, well, now you talk like you may have some doubts about it. Now, why? I mean, we would be playing right into Ace's hands.
Ace's hands? No, I'd rather play into your hands.
Ryan. Oh.
What?
Wait a minute, that really is the last call. If you want to go, maybe, well, we could go right now with the other people.
No, that's not what I want. But what I really want is for you to be sure that you're doing what you want to do. Know your own mind.
Well, tell me something. Does it look like I know my own mind?
Yeah, it does. Look, I have a suggestion.
Suggestion?
Yeah, since everybody's fled the island and there's no one to observe
Nobody here.
anything that we do, let's slip off to the lagoon.
The lagoon? Oh, is this inspiration for a swim?
Not quite what I had in mind.
Well, Maria?
Oh, Rafe, you're not going to believe a word of what she says.
It's your words I'd like to hear. Now, why were you listening outside the door? Better yet, why were you coming to this room in the first place?
I told you, because she's Allison's accomplice.
Tina, will you just hush for a minute and let the woman speak, okay? Go ahead, Ma.
Well, Dorian Lord told me that Allison came out of her coma.
She took the bait, just like we planned.
Tina, will you shut up? Now, go ahead, Ma.
Oh, I was so relieved to hear that she'd recovered. You see, Honey Bunch, part of me still believes that I'm to blame for what happened to her.
Why is that?
Well, Rafe, as you know, I was in the parking lot the night of the accident, and I just feel that if I had seen the car coming a lot sooner, I could have warned Allison to jump out of the way.
Oh, please. Do we have to listen to much more of this?
Look, Maria, let's say you did come to visit Allison. It still doesn't explain why you were listening outside the door.
I expected to find Allison here, and I heard all these people talking, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. Now, I'm still in the dark, so please, will somebody please tell me where Allison is?
She's been moved to another room for safekeeping, Mrs. Roberts. This was all a trap
You
to
don't
help
have
catch
to
the
explain
accomplice.
this to her. She knows it's a trap, because it's a trap that she fell right into.
Rafe, are you going to allow her to continue with these ridiculous accusations?
Oh, come on, Maria. Just give it up, all right? I mean, yeah, you were on your way over to see Allison, but not to tell her how sorry you were. No, you were here to try to silence her so she doesn't tell everybody that you're the accomplice.
How dare you accuse me of something so horrible?
Tina, what did you do? Did you set me up so I'd think the worst about my mom?
No, I set her mean, I set a trap to try to catch her, that's all. I mean, Dan, don't you believe me?
Tina, I don't know what to think.
Wait, come on, you must believe me. You saw her out there eavesdropping. You know what she's up to.
Maria, I'm very sorry for the misunderstanding.
There's been no misunderstanding here. We all set a trap together, and we caught her. Now, what...